Well, it's less than 12 months away now before the Ashes. It's too early, Harmy, surely, to speculate about which big guns England will pick for the tournament that matters most, the competition, the Ashes. Let's talk about Australia as well, though, as well as England. I mean, we all know that both countries work in a 2-year cycle or a 4-year cycle, home Ashes and away Ashes, and everything has been geared towards the Ashes and regaining them in Australia. And I think that England are quite well placed. We'll come back to them. Let's talk about Australia and the problems that they may have and what they might look like. Because a lot of our Aussies that we've spoken to on following on have said that they're worried about this generation and the lack of a new generation coming through. I mean, there's some in their mid-late 30s.
Yeah, the depth of Australia is not. I don't think it's quite as strong as England, or is not perceived to be as strong as England when you talk about the names coming out. But I've got no doubt Australia will be ready for us when we get there. I really don't know, no doubt. A lot of mention and a lot of talk about their bowlers being a bit older. I mean, they're still great bowlers, and they'll be ready for England. I mean, it's their last hurrah. I would imagine for the likes of Starkey, Hazelwood, possibly not Cummins, but we might know Cummins, probably definitely Lyon, that it is probably the last hurrah. They'll be ready. The reason why they play at this age, and the reason why they're so good still at this age, is because they've got standards of set. They know how to get themselves ready and up for a big occasion. Australia's bowlers I think will be fine when we get there. The worry for me is if one of them goes down, where's the backup?
Scott Boland.
Is it
that's
Boland?
It, really,
that's it. I mean, Scott Boland. That's it. We talk about England, and we've got quite a few fast bowlers who can potentially come in. But the batting really worries me. From if I was Australian, Khawaja, 12 months is a long time.
I think at 37.
At 37, I think for Usman Khawaja, even if he has a great final part of the Border Gavaskar, I still think it's a long time away for Khawaja. McSweeney might come good, you just don't know. He has to be given a chance. And again, you talk about the bowlers. Labuschagne's a good player. I mean, I don't think he's a great player in the. I'm going to sound like Darren Lehman here, but he's not in the Joe Root, Steve Smith, Virat Kohli, but
Kane
Williamson. But I don't think he's far from that when he's on. Just at the minute he's off. But again, 12 months time, he could be just primed like a racehorse and be ready. He looks as though he's got a little bit of a confidence problem. And the rest, the all-rounders they've got, Travis Head loves batting in Australia. So the way to keep a position, that might be an issue. That might be an area where possibly come Ashes there might be a change there. But I think all in all, Australia will be ready. It wouldn't surprise me if Khawaja is there. Khawaja, McSweeney, Labuschagne, Smith, Head. Green might be fit. If he's not fit, then you've got Mitch Marshall, you've got the two there, and then Carey, the 4 fast bowlers. So I think both sides, pretty much at this minute in time, you could probably predict 1 to 11 to get there. The problem is 12 months is a hell of a long time in cricket from a body point of view, an injury point of view, and will it be all super fit and ready to go? I think there will be, because I think there'll be a lot of rotation between now and then to get them there. Australia they've got that big series now, where obviously it's 1-1 at the moment. We don't know how that's going to finish up, but England have still got that big series to come, and what happens during that big series from an injury point of view, from a confidence point of view, from form point of view, I think that will always be the big question when you're looking too far ahead.
People may not realise just how much planning goes into an Ashes campaign and how early it starts. And I'm not. Everyone's seen the Private Investigator series, with an incident room and the crime board and with arrows pointing here and here and here are the suspects and what was the weapon used and that sort of thing. I mean, there is a little bit of that going on. Like Rob Key and Ben Stokes and Brenda McCullum will have spoken, obviously, about the Ashes, and they will say at this stage, I want him, and we think he can do this, and we might play him at this venue, and he could be good in the. Is that? I mean, people don't realise that that's the level of the conversation that's taking place.
I think they're having that conversation. I think they've had that conversation. I think that's been going on for
a year already.
Yeah, already. Yeah, I think it is. You're right. 2-year cycle. I think England are looking to probably have 8 or 9 positions in the team and 3 players for each one. Because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen from an injury point of view. You'll never get anybody to replace Joe, and you'll never get anybody to replace Ben. There's nobody in English cricket, no matter whether you think you're identifying from the pathway or coming through from county cricket. There's 2 players in that group who you won't replicate. So if they're not there, then your game plan changes. But I think as long as Ben's fit and as long as Joe's there, I think the other 9 places, I think England will have 2 or 3 opening batters ready just in case a Crawley or a Duckett break a finger or they're not in a position to go. I think a middle order player will be sought after. We'll have a few wicketkeepers lined up and ready to go, and I think I can see England taking with the Lions and the touring party about 25 players to Australia, ready for that for the first 3 Test matches anyway. And then players will go home once the Christmas period comes. So there'll be a barrage of fast bowlers. So I mean, I've said about India, 1 to 11's there. I think you probably take Chris Woakes out of it. As much as I picked him to go to play in England, you take Woakes out of it, and you've got Atkinson, Wood, Archer, Carse. For me, there's 4 there for 3 spots. And when we get there, you might take Chris Woakes to play in Brisbane for the pink ball Test match. So I still think you'll go. I just don't think you'll be first pick. And then you add Tongue, Jamie Overton, Josh Hull. From a left arm point of view, I think they'll all be in Australia along with opening batters. You watch out. I mean, they'll like the young players. Ben McKinney from Durham has to have a good season. If he has a good season for Durham, I think Durham have made some. Scott Borthwick stepped down as captain, so it possibly will not play in that top order. So McKinney will then go that the opening batter on number 3 spot. So he'll get 14 first-class matches this summer, and if he does well, I can see him being in Australia. So England will look at players who fit the skill sets for Australia and not picking numbers as usual. But I can see them taking a big squad. If I was to put my hat on it right now, where I am standing here, ready if the Ashes was tomorrow, everybody fit, I'd go with Crawley, Duckett, Pope, Root, Brook, Smith, Stokes. That top 7 will probably never ever change under this regime. And then I'd be looking at Carse at 8, Archer at 9, Bashir at 11, and choosing one between Atkinson and Wood.
Wood and Archer together.
Wood and Archer. I'd play Wood and Archer. I think if you can get Wood and Archer together in 2 or 3 games, I think and if we get that bowling attack there and firing, I think we stand a chance.
Well, they are the big guns. We're on Mount Wellington. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. Ashes are 12 months away, but there's no harm in looking ahead.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.